Hey, my name is Joe Nicasi. I'm a business coach, and I wanted to share with you a coaching conundrum. I think that I'm sure most of you have experienced something like this, but have you ever talked to somebody who you know with 100% certainty you could help them solve their problems, and yet for some reason they resist and they don't want to pay you? Have you ever been in a situation where you can see broken things in the business, and it's like you you can't help somebody solve their problems if they don't admit to having problems? You know, if everything's working and nothing's not working, I can guarantee you that person will never do business with you. One of the things I've learned is um, you can't help somebody solve their problem until they at least admit to having a problem. And so, somebody like me, and I'll bet like a lot of you, you've got like real value to offer your customers. In other words, you can really solve their problems. Now, the thing that really determines how much we get paid is the perceived value of a buyer. So, talk about like the $1 million consultant. How does the $1 million consultant make $1 million? Number one is you have to have two ethical people. You got to be able to solve their problem, and they got to be like willing and able to actually pay you. Number two is you need to show that you have $1 million worth of value. So in other words, if the buyer perceives you as worth $1 million, they'll pay you $1 million. But even if you offer $1 million of value, if they perceive you as worth only $100, they're not going to pay you 101. And so we have, as a consultant or a coach, we have an onus of responsibility. The best way to have high perceived value is to have high real value. But even if you have a ton of real value, it doesn't mean that it's automatically perceived. So we have this extra onus of responsibility, not only to have a ton of real value, but to take ownership and responsibility for communicating it in a way that others understand and appreciate that value. And that the third piece, how does the $1 million consultant get made, is make $1 million, is number three is you need to have the self-esteem to charge what you're worth. So in other words, if I charge $1,000 an hour, you work with me 10 hours, that's 10,000. You go off and make 10 million from it. The client wins and the consultant loses, because we're not charging for the value, we're just charging for the hour, which is a much worse way to get paid. And then the fourth piece of how does the $1 million consultant get paid $1 million is you don't get paid what you're worth, you get paid what you negotiate. So you need to lock this stuff, you need to lock it down ahead of time instead of trying to negotiate retroactively. So you don't make the client 10 million and then come back afterward and say, well, can you give me a bonus? I only charged you 10,000. It doesn't work that way. So there's this conundrum of, I know I can help you solve your problem, but you won't even admit to having a problem. And so I printed up coffee mugs for my clients, and they say, I will solve your problems, and you will pay me gratefully and generously. And if the client isn't grateful, or if they're not generous, you don't have to solve their problem. And so part of our job is, even though I can make a big impact in your life, if you won't admit to having a problem, or you're not grateful and you're not generous to help to pay to have that problem solved, then guess what? You get to live with your problem. I'm not going to solve your problem if you don't pay me, even though I can. And I run into this all the time, and that's the conundrum. I run into people all the time that I know I can help. I can transform their life. I can make a huge difference for them. But if they can't receive it, then I have to say, no, even though I can solve your problems, I'm not doing it for free. I will solve your problems and you will pay me. If you don't want to pay me, I don't have to solve your problems. And so this is really important. I think, one of the negotiating principles I learned a long time ago is BATNA, best alternative to a negotiated agreement. And that is, if you can't negotiate an agreement with a client, your best alternative to a negotiated agreement is the willingness to walk away, because no deal is always better than a bad deal. I can help you, choose the right business for you. But if you don't want to help my help and you don't pay for it, I don't have to help you do that. I can help you improve your lead generation. But if you don't want to pay for that, I don't have to help you. I can help you lead nurture more systematically. But if you don't want to pay for it, I don't have to help you. I can help you, fill your calendar with appointments. But if you don't want to pay for it, I don't have to help you. I can help you close sales better. But if you don't want to pay for it, I don't have to help you. I can help you get more repeat customers and referral business and video testimonials. But if you don't want to pay, I don't have to help you. And so it's really important that we size up people and we qualify them. Do they like us? Do they trust us? The best salespeople do two things really well. Number one is they build trust fast and they qualify better. You want to filter out the wrong people that won't pay you. You want to filter out the people that you can't serve, and only focus your energy on the ones that you can serve that will pay you. And the other thing that the best salespeople do, the best marketers do, is they build trust fast. We need to show that we can deliver on our promises and that we are trustworthy. So, look, if you are struggling with this stuff, if you've got a lot of value, if you can help people, but they're not paying you for it, and you'd like to find some ways, let me give you one tip before I wrap this up. If I ask somebody, are you satisfied with your current income? They might say yes or no. It could go either way, right? But by simply adding one word, are you totally satisfied with your current income? Most people are not totally satisfied. And it's that little chink in the armor that's going to allow us to at least have a conversation where they admit that things could be better. If they're like, oh no, everything's good, everything's working, and nothing's not working, those people will never, ever, ever buy from you. They will never spend a dime with you. They will never, ever spend a penny with you. So I learned this from a great consultant, a man named Alan Weiss. And that is, we need to be, the word he uses, mercenary about getting to economic buyers. Who is an economic buyer? An economic buyer can cut you a check. An economic buyer can give you a credit card. An economic buyer can say yes and pay you. Everyone else, there's a lot of people that can say no to your stuff, but they can't say yes to your stuff. And so we need to be mercenary about getting in front of people, the right people who admit to having a problem and they're willing to pay to have that problem solved. And so, are you capable of cutting me a check to get this problem solved? If the answer is yes, we can continue this conversation. If the answer is no, then okay, who is the person that can cut me a check to solve this problem, and how do I get to them? Because otherwise, this meeting is over. So please do not waste your time on people that won't pay you. Do not waste your time with people that don't admit to having problems. Do not waste your time working with people that everything works and nothing doesn't work, because it's, you are wasting time. So if you'd like to build a better business, one bite-sized breakthrough at a time, I want to encourage you to reach out to me. I would love to help you. This is Joe Nicasio, your business coach. God bless you. Have an amazing